Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video we're going to look at something that's so simple yet so important, and the way this company approached it is just so cool. Today we're going to take a look at a leash from the company MUI, who really at this point has a number of products. Each are a little bit innovative in their class, and this leash is absolutely no exception. And so for me, having a little bit of control over my animal, and when I say a little bit of control, I do mean a little bit. My dog's very young at this point. She has a ton of energy. She's barely listening at best, but we're doing pretty good all things considered. But having a good quality leash is absolutely critical. And so before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at MUI who did provide this for review. And if you like what you see here, do me a favor and take a look in the description box below where you can get all of the details. And so again, something like a leash, very simple, very standard. I mean, you know, this is your basic webbing style leash, simple clip on the front, a little bit of a swivel, pretty effective all things considered. You can get a number of different patterns, get yourself a nice little soft handle, and it's all good. But when I saw this leash from MUI, it really caught my attention. First off, the general construction is beautiful. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous, real heavy duty and thick piece of rope, just really well constructed. Has a nice oversized handle, couple of little features if you so choose to use them, but it was really the mechanism that caught my attention. This magnetized mechanism, really, really cool. It allows you to put a keeper basically on your dogs, and whether you're going to use a leash or in my case a harness, and it's magnetized. It gives you the ability to actually latch on to the mechanism pretty much one-handed and connect it with ease. It kind of automatically aligns, which is nice, and it does a nice job. Now at first I did find I had just a little bit of trouble getting used to it, but over a short period of time I just learned that there's a little bit of a technique. So once I got used to it, it was very, very simple to get this leash lined up, latched onto the little receiver, and no problem. So really cool. Now this mechanism is beautifully made, just a nice aluminum, good quality springs on the inside. You can see the spring action, very strong, very precise, and I would say just a positive click. And it's extremely simple. Again, this takes just a little bit of practice, not to push on one side or like push on the other, but really just getting a nice firm grip, opening the two claws and getting it around. Very, very easy. Now again, this leash is a standard 6 foot length, which is about perfect for me. I'm 6 feet tall. I have about a 6 foot wingspan, and I want to really keep my dog a few feet away. So 6 feet is about perfect. Again, as we take a look at the leash material itself, it's a premium climbing rope, which is beautiful. This particular color happens to be what they call glacier white, and there are a number of other offerings. So very nicely done. The white does tend to get a little bit dingy. I kind of knew that going into it, but it matches my dog well, and I didn't really care. My wife kind of wanted me to clean this up at one point, so I simply just dunked it in the sink, got a little bit of soap, some detergent, no problem, and it actually came fairly clean, all things considered. So generally speaking, pretty nice. And when it does come down to the dangle, so this is what they call the dangle, it's basically a dual magnet. So you end up with a magnet on the latch itself and also a magnet on the dangle. And in combination, it works fantastic. Now you'll notice that this is a little bit like a carabiner style. So you have the ability to lock this shut. The dangle does lock closed, which is awesome. I think that's critical, and it really is a feature that allows you to take the dangle and attach it to the collar or to the harness kind of semi-permanently, which is awesome. And then when you loosen it up again, that opens up. So it's a little bit like a carabiner style, which I like. Heavy duty. Everything about all of this is heavy duty. It's going to be a little heavier than maybe some other options out there, but at the same time, this is going to be stout. So this is really made for medium to larger dogs. This is probably a little bit bigger than what I need for my small dog at this time, where she's still a puppy and she's growing, but over time this will be about suitable. So again, Again, I have an Australian Shepherd. She's supposed to be ballpark in the 45 to 50 pound range, so this will work out very well, all things considered. A couple other little things to consider. There are some rings on here, and I don't know whether or not you're supposed to use these for keys or attachments or poop bags or whatever. They're kind of a copper color. I did find that they kind of jangle around a little bit. There's two, there's one on each end. I don't really necessarily like these personally. I don't have a use for them. So I feel like I will probably remove them. Is there a reason to use these for some other way of clipping up the leash itself? I'm really not too sure, to be honest. I'm certainly not an overall leash expert or a training expert or anything like that, but I did find that these are a little bit jangly, and I will probably ultimately remove them. But everything nicely made. Now, there is a heavy-duty plastic retainer here that's kind of holding the rope in its position and in place on both ends. Now, I'm assuming that on the inside, there's probably something kind of biting on the end of the rope and keeping it in here, in addition to some sort of an adhesive. I believe that over time, this should hold up. It doesn't feel like there's any possible way that this will break away or tear. So I think this should hold up very well over time. It's certainly well made, and it's a very nice and well-made plastic. So that seems to be a suitable option here on the MUI leash. Now, a few last details worth considering. When you have the dangle attached to either the collar or the harness and you pull on the leash, it can separate and it can click. I found for me, when I have it in the magnetized position, and keep in mind you could clip it up a number of different ways, but when it's magnetized and then you pull, it clicks. Now, you might think, well, geez, that's going to be annoying. Ironically, I found that I can use this as almost a control mechanism. I'm starting to teach and train my dog, and I'm leveraging this little click to my advantage. So a quick little tug, and I'm allowing her to hear it, and I'm changing her course of direction without pulling. So I don't think MUI would have necessarily thought about that, and I don't think they would have intended for this to be a training tool. But it's almost like a clicker, and I found for me, my dog's intelligent enough, and I've leveraged this to my advantage as a training mechanism. So it's actually really cool. And so again, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at MUI who did provide this for review. If you like this content, do me a favor, take a look in the description box below where you can get more details on this brand and on this product. But very, very nice. I like this quite a bit. I think it's awesome. I mean, you have a number of different color choices. This is a great mechanism. I love that it has the dangler that you can kind of put on, leave it on, and it just works well. Very, very nice construction, all things considered. Just a gorgeous leash. Is this going to be a little bit heavy for a smaller dog? It is. Is it going to be appropriately sized for a medium or a larger dog? It is. So you kind of need to think about that a little bit, but overall, very nicely done. And so, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for following along. And if you like this content, do me a favor. Take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there, so if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.